Welcome to Learn Yourself. Nutrition in human beings. Now from here we are starting the metabolic processes happen in the human body. The first one is nutrition in human body. So digestion process is starting from the mouth itself. The saliva is containing the enzyme and that is called salivary amylase, and it will break down the starch into the simple sugar. So digestion process starts from the mouth or buccal cavity. The food is mixed thoroughly with the saliva and moved around mouth while chewing by the muscular tongue, and that's why we say that we have to chew our food properly so that the saliva will thoroughly mix with the food. So the starch will break down into simple sugar. Now movement of the food. It is necessary to move the food in regulated manner along the digestive tube so that it can be processed properly in each part. So step by step it has to move. Now lining of the canal has muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. It will not happen that once you will gulp the food, it will directly fall into the stomach. No, stepwise, in a stepwise manner, it will move forward. And how this will happen? Via this peristaltic movement. Now, what is this peristaltic movement? As you can see here, the contraction is happening here while the food is here. Once the food will go down, the contraction will happen here. As you can see it here, the contraction will happen here. Now the food is here. After this, into the next step, the contraction will happen here and the food will go forward, and this is known as peristaltic movement. And this is rhythmic, this is stepwise. So in each step, the food will processed properly, and once the process has been followed properly, then only it will move forward. So this process is very important and it is known as peristaltic movement, and that will happen all along the gut. So once the digestion process will start from the mouth, salivary amylase will mixed with the food through esophagus, it will come to the stomach. Now what will happen in stomach, that we are going to see it in this slide. So first the food will come to the food pipe and through esophagus it will come to the stomach. So once the food will come to stomach, the stomach will expand and digestive juices will mix thoroughly. Now once the food will come to the stomach, the gastric gland present into the stomach, it will release three enzymes. First hydrochloric acid, second pepsin, and third one is mucus. Now we have to see the function of all the three. So hydrochloric acid create an acidic medium which facilitate the action of enzyme pepsin. Now if the pepsin has to work, it requires acidic medium that will be provided by the HCl. So what pepsin will do? Pepsin is protein digestive enzyme. Into the stomach, the protein will get digested with the help of pepsin. Now this pepsin will work in acidic medium which will be provided by HCl. So HCl will facilitate acidic medium to pepsin. Now what is the function of mucus? That mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of acid under normal condition. So in stomach the acidic medium will be there. So the inner lining should not be get destroyed by this acidic environment. So the mucus will protect the inner lining of the stomach. So mucus will protect the lining of the stomach. So that is how the complete process of digestion into the stomach will be completed. Now from the stomach, the food will come to the small intestine. Small intestine is a very long organ. It is fitted into a very small space because of its extensive coiling. Now what is the meaning of extensive coiling? This is a coiling, or this is also a coiling. So because of its coiling, the long organ has been fitted into a small space. The exit of food from the stomach is regulated by a splinter muscle which releases it into a small amount into the small intestine. Now what is a splinter muscle? Splinter muscle is a muscle which will send food part by part to small intestine. the whole lump of food which has been partly digested into the muscle will not go to the small intestine at once. It will releases to small intestine in small parts in small amount. Now this has been done by splinter muscle. This is a function of splinter muscle, that it will send the food in small amount. This is the longest part of alimentary canal, which is fitted into a compact space because of extensive coiling. The length of small intestine differ in various animals depending upon the food they eat, because the different types of food requires different types of attention and digestive methods. Now first, the herbivorous eating grass need a longer, smaller intestine to allow cellulose to be digested. To digest a cellulose is complex process compared to meat. So herbivorous animals are having longer small intestine. Now whereas meat is easier to digest, and hence the carnivorous like tigers have a shorter small intestine. So this is the difference in the small intestine in herbivorous and carnivorous. Cellulose is difficult to digest, so that's why herbivorous animals are having longer small intestine, whereas carnivorous are having shorter small intestine. Now digestion process in small intestine is very complex. So I have made a chart over here which will be helpful for you to understand the whole process. You can write the whole process from this chart itself. So now digestion in small intestine, the digestion of carbohydrates, protein and fats will happen over here. It receives the secretion of liver and pancreas for this purpose. The food coming from the stomach is acidic and has to be made alkaline for pancreatic enzyme to act. Now, the protein digestion happen in stomach. The pepsin enzyme will work in acidic environment. So, the hydrochloric acid will give that acidic environment in stomach to pepsin enzyme. Now, when it will come to small intestine, it requires alkaline medium, so the pancreatic enzyme will act upon the food particle. Now, the first one is the bile juice from the liver. Now what it will do? It will break down the large globules of fat into the smaller globules. Then second, from the pancreas, we will receive the pancreatic juice. Into that, the trypsin will be there. Now what it will do? It will digest the protein and lipase for breaking down the emulsified fat. So from the pancreas, we will receive two enzymes. First, trypsin, and second one is lipase. Trypsin will digest the protein and lipase will break down the emulsified fat. Now walls of small intestine, it will secrete the intestinal juice. Now this juice will convert protein into amino acid, the complex carbohydrate into glucose, and fat into the fatty acid and glycerol. So you can see that complex process will happen in small intestine. That's why the small intestine is the large organ and it is called one. So how many enzymes or juices will mix into the intestinal food? First, bile juice from the liver. Second, the trypsin and lipase from pancreas. And the fourth one, the secretion of intestinal juice. And it will carry out the series of processes like breakdown of large globules of the fat, then digesting protein, then breaking down emulsified fat, conversion of protein into amino acid, complex carbohydrates into glucose, and fat into fatty acid and glycerol. So once you will remember all these things via this chart, it will be very easy for you to understand and remember. Now the inner lining of small intestine has a finger-like projection called villi, which increase the surface area for absorption. So whatever this digestion process happened till now, it has given us some of the nutrition. That nutrition has to be absorbed. So that absorption will be taken care by this structure called villi. The villi are richly supplied with blood vessels which take the absorbed food to each and every cell of the body. where it is utilized for obtaining energy, building up new tissue and repair of old tissue. So this is the function of absorbed nutrition. And who will absorb all this nutrition in small intestinal wall? The finger-like projection villi will be there on the wall of small intestine. It will absorb all this nutrition. Now the unabsorbed food is sent into the large intestine where its wall absorb more water from this material and rest of the material is removed from the body via anus. Now the exit of waste material is regulated by anal sphincter. So thank you for watching and learning with us. If you have any doubt, please comment down below. I'll see you in next video. Till then, keep learning, keep sharing. And don't forget to subscribe, learn yourself.